Don't you just love hot girls? Don't they just get your nuts tight? Don't they just have you like, you know what I mean? If you're a girl, I would not recommend watching this video. But my viewership, my demographic, my viewership is mostly men, so I don't think I have to worry about that. But if the ladies would like another video geared towards them, I will make that. So if you want that, comment down below. We're rolling into summer, so I'm trying to make more summer themed videos here. And that's why we're covering this topic. It is summer, fellas, so there's gonna be parties. There's gonna be a lot of summer parties, and there's gonna be a lot of nice ladies there dressed in probably not a lot of clothes. I need you to keep your head while that happens, okay? When it comes to hot girls, there's this thing going on right now where there's like hella inflation, okay? And when I say that, I mean the girls have an inflated idea of how hot they are. The reason I say that is because men are now so desperate for the connection and feeling of another woman that they will put these women on such a pedestal. I mean, they'll treat them like angels. And this is a girl that has been with literally all of his friends, and he's treating her like an angel. He's taking her out, he's buying her stuff. And this girl has slept with all of his friends already. You see what I'm saying? Guys are getting so desperate that they're pulling Chud Max moves. Chud Max moves being treating a girl who has slept with multiple guys like she isn't a girl who just slept with multiple guys. Like, you know she slept with multiple guys. Fun fact for you guys, fun little story time. Me and Diego went on a cruise not too long ago, and I had actually slept with a girl who we confirmed had slept with 2 dudes before me, literally in that same week, and I did still sleep with her. Bad call on my part, but you know, sometimes you're on a cruise and you and your boy have been making jokes about crumbling cruise cookie all cruise, and so there's a cookie and she texts you that she wants to come to your room, and you're not gonna deny it. So she comes in the room and she sits on the corner of the bed, and you know it's about to go down.
But that's a story time for another time. If you guys want to see that, please comment that down below. Let me know. I will make that story time for you guys.
If one of you subscribes, takes a screenshot of you subscribed with the bell notification and puts that in the comments, I will make that story time for you guys. Because that one's a little bit more sensitive, so I'm not sure I want to make that right now. The point is, guys lower their standards to the degree that they will treat girls who have been promiscuous with a very, very high level of, competence, I guess. They're treating her like she's going to be their wife. You all know, guys, the white knight, I can take you away from all this, the type of guy to, start having a crush on the stripper. You get it. This desperation from men, I think, causes the females to inflate how attractive they are. The reason I say that is actually the other day I was informed that who I would classify as a mid girl, I mean, I'd probably rate her like a 6.57, called me chopped. Now, I don't think I'm not chopped. I don't think I'm like attractive even. I don't think I'm hot, but I also don't think I'm ugly. I don't think I'm crazy attractive. I don't think I'm like crazy attractive, but chopped? I don't think I'm ugly, and fun fact, the exact word she used was ugly. Again, I don't think I'm like crazy attractive, but ugly? Like, come on, it's ugly, bitch? The reason I complain is because I see her as mid, and the other reason that I complain about this is this girl had probably a 1% level guy. This guy's income was 1% status. He was making 6 figures. He even bought her a car for her birthday. She broke up with him because he was controlling because she wanted to go out and party and do stuff without him, and he always wanted her around him and didn't want her to do that stuff. What she doesn't realize is the chances of her finding a replacement for who she already had is literally, there is a 99% chance she never finds that again. And she's walking around calling dudes like me ugly. I would classify myself in the mid bracket of dudes. But if I'm in the mid bracket of dudes, that would basically mean that she's calling her own tier ugly. She's over-inflating herself. And man, I'm just telling you, you're gonna run into girls like this. You're gonna run into girls that are doing this stuff. You are. And you need to realize that they're all doing stuff like this. All of them. All you have to do is pretend that you're not the 99% of dudes. You know you are. The reason I say all of this is you need to grasp the idea, gentlemen, that hot girls are just a thing that exists, and they're a skill that you can learn, okay? Hot girls are just hot girls. They're just girls. They don't, here, they're the same as the ugly ones. That's what I'm saying. So apparently, this is fully coming from TikTok knowledge, but apparently, psychologically attractive people don't actually know how attractive they are and actually perceive themselves as less attractive, and those that are less attractive actually perceive themselves as more attractive. Basically, everyone kind of in general thinks that they're about mid, meaning you need to treat everyone like they're just people. They're all mid. You need to stop putting females on such a pedestal. And I say this because summer is right around the corner, fellas. Summer is here, basically. It's here. Summer is here. Girls are going to be in bikinis. You're going to be at parties. You're going to be drinking. And you need to understand that everyone is just people. The girls see themselves as people. The guys see themselves as people. The guys that are hot see themselves as mid. The guys who are ugly see themselves as mid. The girls who are ugly see themselves as mid. And the girls who are hot see themselves as mid. Which means you are probably also perceived as mid, which means you're all on the same playing field, and you need to stop putting anybody on a pedestal, okay? And you chop bitches, stop calling mid dudes ugly. It hurts their feelings. There is this concept of what we would call the SMV, or sexual market value. As a woman ages, her value drops, and as a man ages, his value rises or increases. The reason that this is important is if you're like me, you're probably a young man. If you're not a young man, if you're an older gentleman, then this still applies. As a dude ages, right, you are a chud. You're a fucking chud. You're like down here. No one cares about you. You're a chud. And as you age, you hit around teenage years and you're hitting puberty. You've got pimples, you've got gross hormones, you've got all these issues. You're probably shorter than a lot of the girls you're into because you're developing a little later. Rough. Your sexual market value is down here. As you hit your 20s, you're now a hotter guy. You're probably more fit, you're taller, you're more handsome, you look like a man now. Now it's gonna go up, right? But you're probably poor because you're starting your business, or you don't quite know what you want to do yet, but your life is just now starting out. You just got out of high school, or you just got out of college, or you just started those things, whatever. If that's the case, then you're probably poor, which means your market value is not where it could be, but it's definitely not where it was. You're more attractive, but you're also less wealthy. So you're somewhere in the middle. And then as you age, you probably get more money, you're more skillful, you're more wise, you're just a smarter, more attractive man. This is like your 30s, maybe even your 40s. You're at peak sexual market value. Everyone wants a piece of that. That's why girls often go for older guys. They have more stuff. They're smarter, they're stronger, they have more money, they're just better partners. And so they like a more mature, older guy. Because he tends to just have more value to her life than you do. He adds more. There's a plane flying overhead. I don't know if you guys can hear that. But anyway, for girls, it would be the reverse. So for girls, you would have peak value. If you're Epstein, they have peak value as soon as they're born. Maybe even before that. Sorry. Basically, they're your kids, right? And then you hit teenage years and boom, guys are already putting them on a pedestal because you're all horned up, you're gooning all the time, you're fucking, you're double texting, you're triple texting, you're fucking, right? You want fucking, your balls are dropping, right? So the girls are here, they're on a pedestal, everyone wants them, right? They also hit puberty. They're growing boobs, they're growing hips, they're growing ass, right? And you're like, oh my God. You and your boys are like, who has the best ass? Who has the best this and that? Who's the hottest, right? And I mean, this lasts throughout high school, you know? And that's what I mean. Now we get to their early womanhood. When they are around their 20s, they're that college, high school age, you know, that older young adult stage, they are at the peak actually of their SVM, or sexual market value. When girls reach that post-high school to college age, like they just got out of college or they're just going in or they just got out of high school, right? Girls at the young adult stage are actually at the peak of their sexual market value. This is the peak. They are the most developed while still being the most innocent mentally. They act the most childlike and fun, and they act the most developed woman-wise. They're the hottest they're going to be, right? They're in their physical prime, and for a man to be around you, mental prime. And I don't mean, you know, they get smarter as they age, but you get what I'm saying, okay? They're more childlike and they're hot. So this is their peak. As they age into womanhood, unless they keep the assets going, you know what I mean? The assets tend to drop off, but they get smarter and wiser. They're cooler to be around, and that's actually why you get a lot of guys who are around my age who are into MILFs and stuff. It's because they act a lot like just a classy woman compared to girls our age, so we're attracted to older women because they actually act like women. That's a thing for a whole nother time, you know what I mean? But the point is, as women age, it actually gets worse. And then we all kind of, you know, turn into dairy products as we age. As we hit the older age, we all just turn into a bunch of spoiled milk. Basically, men, if you're worried about the peak of pulling girls, you're basically cooked till you're 25. Okay, you're basically cooked. You're not gonna get any bitches until you're 25 years old at least. But that's not the point. The point is, guys, don't put girls on such a pedestal, okay? Girls are not all that. You need to stop worrying about females and start worrying about yourself, okay? Hot girls are gonna be around, and it is summer, and there's gonna be hotter girls out, okay? Point is, stay focused, stay locked in. Girls are a distraction. Your girl is not, but you're not finding your girl at a party. You're not finding your girl in a bikini, drunk, you know, you're not doing that. You're finding your girl maybe in the gym or at church or something. Girls are going to be a distraction for you right now. They are not going to be helping your life in any way. This one, I was kind of all over the place. I don't know if this even helped anyone at all learn or contribute to their life in any way. If it did, let me know. If it didn't, let me know. But either way, please subscribe. Comment down below what you thought and what you might want me to cover that isn't this. Thank you.